All right, Jessica, can you hear me?
I sure can. How we doing?
It's so great to see you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Ben, we did some pre-work, but I'd love to dive in. And Jessica, for everyone watching this, what we're sharing with, tell us about you. Tell us about your story and where everything came from.
Yeah. So I went to nursing school, graduated in 2013, found CrossFit at the same time, and all of a sudden had all this time on my hands because I went from studying 9 million hours a week to now working 3 days as a nurse and kind of needed something to fill my time. So stumbled into CrossFit. And if anyone here has done CrossFit, you learn it just like the bug bites you, you start drinking the Kool-Aid and you just become obsessed with it. And I was no exception. So 2013 really started developing in the CrossFit space, and just started documenting the journey. Like I loved social media was just becoming a thing. Instagram was just becoming a thing. And I started taking off with CrossFit. So as I,
Were you an athlete like what was fitness before nursing school or before CrossFit?
so I was a college cheerleader. Um, and it's funny, I went to college with some Brenton Rogo. He has been an MC in the CrossFit space. And he was like, if you told me in college that you were going to be a multiple qualifying CrossFit Games athlete, he goes, I literally never would have believed you because I was just this girly girl, hit workouts, not the CrossFit beast that you guys all see on, when they put it on ESPN or whatever. And I joke, like, I do have good genetics. My dad was a bodybuilder. There's 6'4" guys on my mom's side. Um, I have the work ethic and I have the genetics. I wouldn't necessarily say that the natural talent is there. When you get somebody with natural talent plus work ethic, those are the top 10 athletes. I was like, I'd always place like 34th. I had the work ethic, and so that was going for me. But yeah, was a cheerleader and I was always active, but I was never your all-star first line, first string athlete. Um, yeah, I don't know. I had a gymnast background, which was helpful in CrossFit, and I was strong. And being good at gymnastics and being strong are two really important things to help you excel in CrossFit. And it worked for me, and I was obsessed with it. And so I just put years of showing up every single day, getting better. And it led me to qualifying twice as an individual and 3 times on a team. And so, the point of this call is talking kind of about content creation. And so, like I said, I just started documenting that journey and kind of going outside of the box of what a lot of the athletes were doing. It was very normal this was when it was cool to show the highlights on Instagram. Like there wasn't that vulnerable piece that's so important to social media. Um, and I would show that vulnerable side. Like when I didn't qualify, I posted about like, I just quit my nursing career. I threw everything in my white picket fence square away to pursue this dream, and I just missed it by 4 points. And I talked about like the emotion behind that and how bad that sucks. And then that people started following that story of like, what's she gonna do? Like, and I was diligent about making it still a good thing. I decided to go do demo team for the games. That's the person who tests the workouts for the athletes. It was like, it sucks that I didn't qualify, but let me go do something with this really amazing talent that I just worked all year to acquire and still do something good with it. And so shared that journey of being behind the scenes at the CrossFit Games with Dave Castro and what does it look like to test the workouts, and was still getting really amazing opportunities through the sport. We did a couple like awesome trips to Bahamas, Miami, and then and then I had this extra time on my hands, and I got the opportunity to go compete on the Rocks Titan Games, NBC reality TV Titan Games, and so just had all these really amazing, fun opportunities that was fun to watch because I was so willing to share the story and the journey and the adventure behind all of that. And it was like through my career, I was never a top 10 athlete. I wasn't even close, but I was having fun, sharing the adventure and like bringing people along that ride with me. And I have so many people that message me even today of like, I've been following you since 2017 and now I'm also a mom, kind of getting over CrossFit, and like my following is evolving through life with me. And because I've like been so willing to share every stage of life, because like seasons change, my following is evolving with me. And it's like no matter where I go, they're coming with me because we're BFFs, because they see me every day on social media.
100%. And so you started CrossFit Games, you start building a following along the way. And then when did you start thinking about monetization and making money from it?
It's definitely been a gradual, like you got to build anything you do, right? So I guess it would have been 2018 because that's when I started my nutrition coaching business. And I would just, I had a CrossFit following and I would post, hey, I'm a nutrition coach. If anybody wants nutrition coaching, here I am. And so that's where it started. And then it really started taking off when I retired from CrossFit, got hooked up with you guys. We started working together in 2021, which has been amazing. And we can definitely talk about that. I paired the nutrition coaching with the workouts, and that's when the business really took off, and has continued to do so since.
And I would say part of your methodology, whether you consciously know it or not, is not that you don't deliver an amazing thing, but you strike me as you kind of, which I think is one of the great attributes about you. You're just like, you're kind of shoot first, ask questions later.
Absolutely, to a
And
fault, for sure.
I think that's well, so many people way overthink things, and it's got to be perfect and this and that. And I think that's a strength, really, where you just went in and just were like, I'm gonna deliver a service. It's not perfect, but I'm gonna start selling and make it. But I feel like that's been a part of your. Is that fair to say? I guess.
No, absolutely. And even so, if you people watching aren't familiar with the Playbook team, Evan is Jeff's second-hand man. And he said it perfectly to me one day. He's like, we just got to stand this up. Like, it's not perfect, but let's stand it up and go with it. And like, he put my actions to a sentence, and I was like, yeah, you just got to do it. And it's never perfect. Like, even a perfect system still takes refining because things, times change and you got to adjust with the technology, and like it's never going to be perfect, but you just got to start somewhere, and you learn as you go too. I've learned so much through the trial and error, and you wouldn't learn that trial and error unless you start somewhere.
And I say you're pretty bold too with it's just so easy for creators to overthink things and should I even sell this stuff? But why don't we talk about what everything you're selling today, and you just kind of continue to, let's start like you had the subscription business, and then let's talk about the evolution. So where did you first? What was the first thing you started selling, and what did you start layering on, and then where are you today?
Yeah, so it started with the nutrition coaching in 2018, and that was just it's through Google Drive, like email, Google Docs, Google Sheets, spreadsheet. Very simple. And I will talk about the business that's developed from that, but like you can have a very successful business without Trainerize, without Everfit, like not to dog on platforms, but it can be done with a free, user-friendly, coach-friendly system. And people don't realize that. They think it's got to be fancy and pretty. And it's like, no, I was making $80,000 sending emails back and forth to my clients with a Google Sheet, or do Google Doc. It doesn't have to be fancy. So then, like I said, in 2021, we started adding the workouts. I joined Playbook, and that has been literally amazing. I get offers to go on other platforms probably once a month, and I will literally never leave Playbook because it's a beautiful platform, user-friendly platform, and just the design team alone. If you're looking into like paying for design from Playbook, the team is the best I've literally ever seen. Like everything they produce for me, I'm like, I freaking love this. They're so talented. And I've dealt with being in the professional CrossFit space. I've seen graphics. I've done professional media marketing. You guys just knock it out of the park. And that's honestly the probably number one reason I'll never leave, is because the marketing materials are just beautiful. And that's important.
You don't have to tell us, but thanks for that.
Seriously though. So then, let's see, this is where it gets a little tangly. So I was burnt out on nutrition coaching, and I presented this idea to Dee, who's a part of the Playbook team, but then to Jeff of, hey, I want to start mentoring other people on how to become nutrition coaches, because everyone goes and gets certified. There's no practical application of what do you do with your nutrition certification. And I want to teach people how to launch a business, because again, making $80,000, traveling the world, answering 25 emails on Monday morning to then go do whatever the heck I want. It's an awesome lifestyle, and I want to teach other people how to do that, whether it's that successful or it's just 10 grand, a year, extra side gig money, whatever. So Jeff and his team has helped me build what's now Alter Nutrition. And now I mentor other people on how to launch their own online nutrition coaching business. We've built everything out on Circle. We host a community on there, and that's where all the coaches learn the content, and that's been amazing. High ticket offer, it's a $7.99 offer, and with some lower compact offers that we have a $2.99 program and a $97 program, but that's considered my current high ticket offer. And then Playbook has also helped me. We have a nutrition consult, because I do still like to do some nutrition coaching, but I don't want to manage one-on-one clients. So I'll do a one-off consult that Playbook has built out for me. And then I have a PDF, the Hot Mom Guide. And that's basically, I have over a decade now of professional nursing, professional CrossFit, personal, I've coached thousands of men and women at this point on their nutrition, on their fitness, and then my own personal journey. I've now had 2 babies. I had them 15 months apart, going through that professional athlete to fat mama, back to fit mama progression. So the guide, I have the nutrition consult, the workouts, and then the Hot Mom Guide is what ties it all together to make it make sense. Meal timing, grocery lists, how to deal with crazy hormones, how to deal with your gut health, and just kind of wraps it all up to make it make sense. And there's so much information on the internet right now. This is a one-stop shop to what do I do? What's a path that I can take to have success and see abs and definition that I've never seen before. So that's what I'm currently selling.
Yeah, you're hustling. I think where your methodology is so good is you're just like, hey, I have an idea. I'm going to go into this thing. I'm going to start with some docs in a Google Drive, and then we'll see what happens and go from there. But
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, and as I've learned because I also study social media. I love studying social media growth. I love studying marketing. How do we make this actually effective? There's absolutely something to be said about simple offers. And I don't necessarily recommend what I'm doing. I am slammed. I love what I do, but I am absolutely slammed. And so I'm in a phase right now where I'm learning, how do I simplify these offers to make them make sense to people? If you have a confused audience, they're not going to buy. So even trial and error of how do we just there's a lot going on here. I mean, you might be overwhelmed even just listening. So how do we simplify this to make it enticing for someone to be okay, I want to get in this girl's world and figure out, she's gone through the journey herself. She's getting results for other people. I'm now interested in becoming a part of that. So just, being mindful of that part of it too.
yeah, that's a great segue to the fact that I think one of the coolest things that you did was, I would say, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, kind of lead the horse to water, so to speak, but you had a CrossFit audience that did well. But then I would say there's not that long ago where you're like, hey, I'm gonna adjust things a little bit. I'm gonna change my branding a little bit. I'm gonna change my marketing a little bit. I would say to hit a bigger audience, because CrossFit was niche, and that has paid dividends for you.
Yeah.
It seems like, again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that seemed like there was an inflection point where you made an adjustment in your brand. Is that fair?
Yeah. So to go along with the narrative we've been having, I've been very open about sharing my journey, my life, my story, and the timeline of it all. So there was a shift where I went from professional CrossFit athlete and gained almost 300,000 followers to now pregnant back to back and burnt out on CrossFit, not wanting, I never want to sit on an assault bike and die ever again. Like I'm so burnt. I literally have PTSD, like makes me cringe just sitting here thinking about it. I want to be in the gym. I want to be healthy. I want a cute, smaller, petite, but toned body, which is not what I looked like in CrossFit. There's a difference between performance and aesthetic goals. Um, and so there was a huge shift in me, and just going along with my brand is I'm authentic to me and where I'm at in life. And I was at this professional CrossFit phase and was drinking the Kool-Aid. And now I'm in mom mode. I'm burnt out. I still want to look cute. How do we make that happen? And I'm a problem solver. So I'm like, and also I'm willing to like show my trial and error publicly. So I just started talking about where I was at. I'm like, I'm burnt out. I don't want to die in a workout ever. That's stupid. Why would you do that unless there was money to win behind that? Um, and I've got kids. I can't afford to be tired all day long after my workout. I've got to chase two babies now. I'm up all night long feeding babies. So how do I make fitness fit into this lifestyle now? Because it's so different from what it used to be. I was single all through my 20s, traveling the world, doing professional CrossFit. Now I was in my 30s, married with two babies, and that happened in a matter of 2 years. And I just started sharing that story. And again, because I had been so authentic through my years of posting on social media, nobody else was, I wouldn't say nobody, but there were not many people talking about that transition now to real life out of the CrossFit spotlight. Um, and it just resonated with so many people. So many people were like, yeah, I'm actually freaking burnt out on CrossFit too, but I don't know what to do because I've been brainwashed into thinking that I have to follow the board as RX, as written. And I was like, no, if you don't want to do burpees, don't do burpees. If you don't want to do 15, 12, 9, 135 and sprints, don't do it. Like, and I just started sharing, like, you don't have to die. You don't have to do it as written. You don't have to do it as RX. Here's a program that I just developed that I'm loving. I'm seeing amazing results. I was sharing, my postpartum journey of like fat belly, postpartum mama to 6-pack 13 months later, not doing CrossFit, don't want to do CrossFit. I'm okay to not do CrossFit. And it just freaking resonated with so many people because this is, I'm just going to say it, like CrossFit is not like intense CrossFit every single day is just not sustainable, especially as you age into your 30s and 40s and on. And I was okay to say that. I was okay to take hate from it. I now have 205,000 followers because people don't resonate with that, and that's okay. But the business has boomed because I'm not selling CrossFit programming like everyone else. Like that is saturated in our market. I decided to stay true to myself, not be afraid to come again, once again, authentically as Jess. Sure, there's people that don't like it. I don't care. No one coach is for everybody. No one program is for everybody. I'm going to be me. I'm going to stick to me. That's what has found me success in literally every teenager, early 20s, late 20s, 30s. There's going to be haters. It is what it is. Find your people and run with them. And that's where you find success. And that's what has worked for me always.
Yeah, it's been awesome to really to see that, and I would say I've seen it a couple of times where it's been, I'm almost I've lost followers because I wanted to be true to myself, and but my business has like tripled or quadrupled because of that. Because there's kind of like a phony layer of people on top, and then you kind of slice into the people who are really authentic and you emotionally connect with, and
Yeah. And just to speak to that, my business, let's see, it has quadrupled to five-drupled in the last 8 months because I chose to start speaking my truth and where I was at. So there's something to be said about be who you are and your people will find you, and they can see through the not authenticness.
that's so good. I'll clip that one. The and then thank you for sharing all that. And then the two last questions would be, what is, you're bringing multiple trainers under you. So that's really cool. So let's talk a little bit about that, but it would be, where do you want your business to go over the next couple of years? How do you think about the future? Are you taking it one day at a time and kind of seeing what happens, or do you, how far ahead do you think? Are you thinking about things? We'll kind of stop there. I'd be curious to hear that.
Yeah. Okay. So now I guess I hadn't again, there's like so much going on here. I forgot to mention now the most important thing. When I started with Playbook, we first started with, it was my husband and I. We decided he didn't like social media, so let's take him out. It was Valor Strength to start with both of us. Now it's just me, Jess, and it was JC Fit. And now I never loved that name. I never wanted the name to be my name. I wanted a more general brand. But I didn't have a name, I didn't have a tagline, and I just needed something. So we did JC Fit, and that worked. But now we have evolved to what's now LIT, lower intensity interval training. And that's the message coming away from CrossFit. Lower intensity, it's not slow, it's just not dying, and you don't have to do the workouts at your max capacity every time you step into the gym. So LIT, I've partnered with another fellow best friend CrossFitter, Amanda Barnhart. She's preaching the same message. She's in the same space, having a baby, burnt out. And together we've partnered. Her and I have completely blown LIT up. I guess that is on brand.
No pun
And
intended.
we are also, because again, it's kind of like all of these experiences that I've had are coming full circle. I want people to be healthy. I left my nursing career in 2018 because I was fed up with our healthcare system pushing meds, enabling poor behaviors, chronic diseases. There's so much to be said about how diet and exercise can help you get away from your medications, your chronic diseases. And so with LIT, it's not just going to be workouts. We're taking on, Amanda's a physical therapist, I'm a nurse, we've got a physician assistant and 2 dietitians. So we are creating this wellness hub of board certified healthcare professionals who value health and wellness from the holistic standpoint of diet, exercise, and lifestyle modifications before medications. And we're creating this online wellness hub. So that we've announced that within what's now the LIT community. We've not announced that to the world yet. It's fine if you announce it on this video. But that's what's coming down the pipeline. And as far as like forecasting, I'm like, let's reach for the stars, but also like, I don't know. I feel like I have these huge, crazy goals that I do achieve, but I kind of set the bar low as like expectations and pressure on myself. Like, I wanted to qualify for the CrossFit Games, so I did what I needed to do. But if I didn't, I wasn't gonna like, it wasn't my identity. And same thing with all the business endeavors. Like, yeah, I would love to be making millions doing online fitness coaching. I'm going to do everything that I can learn and implement everything to try to make that happen. And that's would be like a cool goal just because that's really hard to do. But just, it's like, but can I do it? Not for the greed, not for the money, just like, it's a hard feat. Can I do it? And just like showing up every day, doing the little things. And so as far as forecasting, it's like, we talk about it, but again, things we kind of figure it out as we go at the same time, because things change, trends change, life seasons change. But it's cool that I'm now in a place where everything's coming full circle. I'm getting to apply the nursing knowledge, the CrossFit knowledge, the mom knowledge to create this LIT wellness hub where people can come to get answers from board certified healthcare professionals. So that's been really fun and really exciting.
Yeah, I love how you continue to push. And I think your attitude on just have a high goal and then just do your best and kind of see what happens. You seem to apply that really well. So the closing questions would be, your one, how do you think about social today? How do you come up with your content? There's 2 questions I have. So one is, how do you come up with your content ideas? And then would be like kind of like if you were to give advice to your younger self in social today, but we'll come back to that one. So the first one would be social media today. How do you think about how you grow your brand, how you come up with content ideas, things you struggle with, things you're getting better at, that type of thing?
Yeah, so a method that I learned recently is batch creation. That is essentially you come up, I am very creative and I love creating content. And I think if you're not passionate about that, you should rethink this because it's freaking hard. And if you're not passionate about it, it will show in your content. Not everybody can be a successful content creator, in my opinion. Um, and so the method with batch creation is you have an idea and you turn it into 5 pieces of content. So for example, I um the reel would be the transformation that I made from postpartum to now a mom with a 6 pack. And so you have your on screen text and then you punch it into ChatGPT and you say, rewrite this on screen text 5 different ways. And so it rewrites it 5 different ways. You put it on 5 different videos and you literally use the same caption for all 5 of those reels. And you just created 5 reels in not even 10 minutes. And then you just post those, not obviously not on the same day, but different days. If you have 6 ideas that you rewrite 5 different ways, that's 30 pieces of content. And it's important to keep repeating your messaging to your people. So it's been a really effective strategy for me of how to generate a ton of content, getting my messaging out there, having my audience really know what it is that I'm about, but also rewording that on-screen text. People's brains all work differently and they receive things from different viewpoints. So just tweak, you could have the same message, different video, same caption, and one does really well, one does absolutely terrible just because of the way the on-screen text was written. So it's kind of like A/B testing a little bit too. But I'm constantly scrolling. I never scroll my Instagram to like look at what people I'm following are doing. I'm scrolling the Explorer. I'm looking at what's trending. I'm looking at what posts from other similar content creators are doing well. Yeah, my time spent on social is either creating my own content or researching other trending content that's doing really well to see if I can create that with my own authentic twist on it.
That was awesome. Is there any limiting beliefs that you have or had, or when you go to post content, feel like being judged? Have you had to deal with any of that?
Yeah.
For new people coming in, that's like, of course, the biggest blocker. How do you handle that yourself?
I had this hilarious thought the other day. Trolls are so scary and can feel deflating. I don't know a successful content creator who doesn't have trolls. Like you are not special if you have trolls. Every single person has trolls. And a question I've gotten from my mentees and my mentorship is, how do you deal with that? And I will preach this till I am blue in the face. Do not respond to the trolls. The sooner you stop responding, the sooner the fire goes out and you can move on with your life. When you start responding to the trolls, it takes your energy, it takes your happy joy. I'm like, I'm a Jesus girl, but I'm like really excited, not excited, but I've been like very intrigued by this whole energy thing. When you have negative energy, you breathe negative energy in, it's going to show in your content. It's going to show to your audience. And so if you're trying to have upbeat vibes, you can't be reading your troll comments because that is deflating you, it's defeating you. And so I've accepted, and I have gone through mega cancel culture. I had a very devastating online experience and felt like like it was the lowest point in my life. Um, and I learned that do not take that. I heard this quote when I was going through that really hard time from Matt Fraser, who has been a very successful CrossFit athlete, the best of all time. He said, do not take criticism from someone you would not take advice from. And I was like, okay, all these trolls in my comments are losers. I would not take advice from them. So I'm also not going to take their criticism. So like, as far as limiting beliefs, I don't I understand that that's a thing, but something I've always told myself is if she can do it, I can do it. I've applied that to everything I've done in life. I watch girls go to the CrossFit games and I was like, if she can do it, why can't I do it? If I'm looking at Claire Thomas and she's got 1 million followers, crushing it, why can't I do that? Like, I love looking at her content. So why can't I make a video and trust that there's going to be someone out there that likes looking at my content the way that I like looking at Claire's content? And I just like, yeah, you feel cringy. You feel stupid. I'm asking my husband to take videos of me as I'm walking down the street in New York City. I feel freaking stupid. But you know what? So did Claire is traveling the world, having someone taking videos of her. And if she can do it, I can freaking do it. And I'm like, I've just always applied that concept to anything I've approached. It's like, I see someone doing something I want to do. I'm going to watch and observe what they're doing, and I'm going to go do it because I want to do what they're doing.
Love it.
Yeah.
So good. That's so good. They're such a badass.
And you just have to kind of be shameless about it. Like, yeah, there's going to be haters. There will be haters whether you don't do it, whether you do it, whether you fail, whether you succeed. So like, let the haters be haters. That's negative energy that I don't have time for. If my mom and my dad and my husband are not telling me, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that, I'm going to go do it.
There's so much value in I think shameless is a great word. I very much in the approach where it's just, you got to just go into it, not overthink it, do it. You got to learn as fast as you can. You just get in the game, make adjustments. And that always serves you. It always serves you well and serves you better.
And there's going to be posts that flop. Like there's going to be stuff you do that flops. And it's like, a flopped post is still better than no post. Like something is better than nothing. Like I have, again, over 200,000 followers. I have some reels get less than 1,000 views. Like that's embarrassing, but it's like, whatever. I showed up, I did it. And now again, my business has quadrupled because I've been diligent about showing up, and I can sit here. I also wanted to mention this, like I got a text yesterday from a travel nurse agency, and they're like, we're paying $2,000 a week. And 5 years ago, I would have been like, man, $2,000 a week, that's insane. I got to go take this contract. And now I don't even have to bat an eyelash at that message because I'm making so much more money than that because I'm choosing to show up and be shameless and do it anyway,
So what would your last question for you, and thank you so much for your time today, but if you were to give advice to someone who was starting off and as a new content creator who wanted to create a digital fitness business, what would you tell them?
I would say, be authentic, be shameless, be true to yourself, follow the trends, but like with your own authentic spin on it, have fun with it, post often, whether you want, like, if you want to do this, post often, be consistent, and like use your time wisely on social media. Don't be scrolling and comparing, like be researching, like be productive with your social media time. Don't be like comparing yourself to someone else's journey, getting down on yourself. Like have fun with it.
And what I would say when I hear the word authentic, I think it's almost like a paradox where I would say you want to be highly authentic, but underneath the hood, you're also constantly innovating, and your self-growth seems to be very high. So it's like, I'm going to be I'm going to be authentic, the person I am right now, but I'm also working really hard to create a new version of myself.
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line. Like again, looking at the trends, but finding how you can put your own spin on it, and just like staying true to yourself. We got a little one coming.
You can join. You can totally come in.
Come here. You want to say hi? This is what we got here. You say hi.
Oh my gosh! Hi, beautiful.
She's the best.
How old is she?
2.5.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
She's awesome.
My little girl's 6 right now, and I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's like she's turning 6 in like a month and a half, and I'm like, oh, my little girl's 6.
That is, I know. Crazy. I'm like, she's gonna be 3, and I'm like, that's crazy. So I can't imagine 6.
Yeah. Anyways, you're the wrap it up. not seem, you keep pushing though. And I think a message to creators like be yourself, be authentic, share what you have, but also you need to take working on yourself really serious.
Yeah.
Not really serious. I don't mean like overly serious, but like, you know what I mean? Like you keep going, you're going into new businesses. You keep pushing forward. You're going into new modalities, new methods. Like there's a part of you that's being authentic, but you're also striving for something else.
Yeah, like constantly growing and wanting to be the best version you know how to be, but like liking yourself and being confident in yourself and knowing that like you're gonna put stuff out there that's gonna make some people not like you. And I would post it tomorrow even if I got a million hate comments on it, because I'm just being true to me. um yeah, so holding yourself to a high standard, but you know not getting down on yourself if like the masses are not about it.
So good. Jessica, thank you so much for this. It's been awesome.
Yay. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.